Hello, you beautiful people. Welcome back to the sexual health segment on SMB TV. I'm your resident sexual health expert, Steve, and it's great to speak with you again. Now, last week I got to tell you a bit about myself, and I introduced you to the notion of using the tools, the knowledge, and the communities that are at your disposal to ensure you have a healthy, happy, and fun sex life free from shame and stigma. This week we'll be talking about something I get asked about all the time. What's the best way to get ready for sex? Now, of course, the best way is the way that works for you. We're all different, and what we consider to be sex itself can be very different. But for this video, I'm talking about interpersonal sexual activities. Now, there are certain things we can all do to make sure we are prepared not just physically, but mentally for sex. One of the biggest barriers we encounter when it comes to enjoying sex is our pesky mind. And this form of sexual anxiety is totally normal and something many of us contend with. Now, what has sexual anxiety got to do with sexual health? Well, as we explored briefly last week, good mental health is good sexual health, and vice versa. And when we let sexual anxiety take control, that can lead to some poor health outcomes, whether it be poor decision making, putting yourself or others at risk to harm, or even just things like FOMO, the fear of missing out. Preparing for sex can be a bit of an art. Often it's a very private thing, but it's something most of us do. So how do we prepare for sex in a healthy way? Well, you've got to get yourself into a healthy mindset and consider where you might be experiencing anxiety and figuring out ways to overcome that issue. And who doesn't want to just have sex that is good and fun for everyone involved? I've had to think about some of the things that get in my way when preparing for sex, and I'll touch on a few of them with you now. Now, first, just the question, what do I think of myself? This is all about my self-confidence and how I think others see me. If I'm not feeling beautiful, I'm probably not feeling very sexy. So I do my best to overcome this through things like positive affirmations, but it can be a really tough one to crack. But if it's any reassurance, the person or people you're about to have sex with have already decided they want to do it with you, so you can put that feather in your cap and know that you're beautiful and you're good enough. Next, the question what you think might happen. This is like war planning sometimes, going through your mind all the what ifs and worrying about things that might not even be worth worrying about. Something I'm often asked are things about hygiene issues. And while I encourage a shower before sex and general good hygiene, sex can be messy, and that's okay. People are more mature and pragmatic about these things than we think. If something goes wrong during sex, you just deal with it. It's not the end of the world, and always remember that communication between you and your partner or partners is key. And that brings me to my next point, what you and your partners can do to prepare together. Communication is healthy and communication is sexy. Not just foreplay, I mean actually talking openly about what you want and what your partners want. Making sure there's an understanding that there's an open dialogue so that if something does go wrong, you can confidently talk about that. So, setting the scene with an emphasis on communication means you can relax because if something does come up, you know you can talk about it. And finally, consider what you think about the scenario you're going into. Do you feel comfortable? Has your partner communicated with you? Are you going into the scenario with enough information to make you reassured and safe? Or are there things that seem a little bit off? Consent is so important here. Consent can be withheld at any point, and consent can be specific. Consent puts the power in your hands, and don't be afraid to use it if you're not feeling it. And just very importantly, relax, have fun, explore safely, and always communicate. Sex is fun, but it's also normal to worry about it. So consider what gets in your way and what you can do to counter that. That's the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I'm Steve, your sexual health expert. If you have any questions, reach out, leave a comment, or get in touch with us at SMB TV. We'll see you in the next video.